إلا بك. الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمدك اللهم ونستعينك ونستهديك. اللهم إنا نستعينك فإنه لا عون إلا عونك، ونستهديك فإن الهدى هداك، ونبرأ من حولنا وقوتنا إن صح لنا أن نقول ذلك إلى حول الله وقوته، فلا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، شهادة نسأل الله أن يرزقنا فهم معناها والقيام بحقها، وأن نحشر في الآخرة مع أهلها من الصادقين. ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدًا رسول الله، اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى إخوانه من المرسلين، اللهم واحشرنا معهم في الآخرة أجمعين. ثم أما بعد، فإن القرآن هو كلام الله وهو معجزة الإسلام، يتميز المسلم في حياته تبعا لفهمه لكلام الله، فإذا فهم استقامت دينه واستقامت دنياه. والفهم هنا لا يعني الحفظ أو الترديد، ولكن يعني الوقوف على مراد الله من خلقه. لذلك طلب منا ديانة أن نحب القرآن، فقال رسول الله ليبشر من أحب القرآن. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guarantee the existing of this religion by protecting its message, which is the Quran al-Kareem. This is why we can measure the success of the individual as well as the community at large by examining the relationship with the Quran al-Kareem. And I mean by the relationship with the Quran not only the literal approach toward the Quran or even the memorization of the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but to say the least, I mean understanding the expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala toward us through understanding His message in the Quran al-Kareem. Al-Quran al-Kareem is the miracle of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the existing one. Sayyidina Musa, Sayyidina Isa, al-Anbiya before perform what we call mu'jizat, miracles, to justify their authenticity. Well, if you ask anyone today about the people Isa alayhi salam brought to life after this, we cannot bring any one of them. If you can ask anyone today about Musa alayhi salam, Asa Musa, no one can found this Asa today. But if anyone were to ask about the miracle of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, will be able to show him or her or them Al-Quran al-Kareem. This is why understanding the Quran is quite crucial, not only for our religious practice, but even when conveying the message of Islam toward people around us. It's worth telling to say, large number of scholars within the Muslim community throughout the history put huge emphasis in describing the Quran al-Kareem to all of us. It's becoming more of a culture for people to try their very best to understand the meaning of each ayah, the meaning of each word, even if they are Arab or non-Arab, and their practice is not only acceptable, but rather it's a practice they will be rewarded by. But it seems like when putting so much attention toward the understanding each ayah, I feel like we might lack here or there the substantive approach toward the Quran, understanding the core message of the book. This is why today I want to speak to you about Surah Al Imran as an example, hoping that after the khutbah today, each time you start reading any surah in the Quran, maybe you'll raise some questions and you'll have some understanding. Surah Al Imran, the third surah in the Quran al-Kareem, and the surah intend to explain two events. The entire surah, around 200 ayah, being revealed to explain two events. The event of Nasara Najran. Nasara Najran is the group of the Christian community, came to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to respond to Rasul's invitation, and Najran is the city exists in the southern part of Arabia. The second half of the surah explained to us the event of Ghazwat Uhud, the Battle of Uhud. Well, it's obvious now that although when we recite Surah Al Imran, we assume that Jibreel alayhi salam came with this surah in one time, but actually the beginning of the surah, the first 80 ayat or so, being received in the final year of Rasul's life, in the 10th year of Al-Hijrah. And the second half was revealed in the third year of Al-Hijrah. 7 years between the beginning and the last part of the surah. Well, but both parts, the entire surah is very much focusing in the area of Tawheed. Why I choose Surah Al-Imran? Because we, as people living in America today, when we talk about the interfaith activity, our relationship with the people from other faiths, we assume often that we are the only people facing this challenge. This is why you find very serious people, very sincere as well, trying to create a method when dealing with the people of the other faith, not realizing that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam dealt with this challenge. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam dealt with the Christian community from Najran. This is why I feel that it's very important for us when approaching the Quran al-Kareem to know for a fact the Quran has an answer for any question you have in mind, but you have to be open and you have to have what we can consider a wide approach toward the Quran al-Kareem. What happened in the 10th year of Al-Hijrah is that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam start reaching out to people from the community at large, from Arabia and actually outside of Arabia. Among the people Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam approach is Nasara Najran. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sent them a letter inviting them for a dialogue. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam initiate his talk by saying, Bismi Rabbi Ibrahim wa Ishaq wa Yaqub. He started his letter by, instead of writing a specific, using a specific term, Rasul by the name of Allah, the God of Ibrahim, Ishaq and Yaqub. And he started introducing Islam to them. Surah's approach, the 80 ayat in Surah Al Imran, explain to us what happened with Nasara Najran is really useful in our context today. Because when people attack us, we must not all of the time look to them as enemy, they are Islamophobic, without giving them an answer. If people are raising a concern or asking a question, we have to answer the question. And we have to fulfill the need. Calling people bad names is equally bad. To ignore is equally bad to ignoring them. And I think when people raise a wrong criticism toward us, I found this an opportunity for us, for our people, for our religion to take advantage of the opportunity. Wafd Nasara Najran, when they received Rasul's letter, this is what they did. They gathered 60 special people, 60 special individuals from them, and they appoint a leader. They were very organized, and they know what they did. They said, we will wear very special clothes, and it was acceptable according to their culture to wear gold. They did that and arrived to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And when they arrived to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Jibreel came with this ayat to teach Rasul what to do. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when recognized some arrogant behavior from their appearance, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not speak with them right away. Sayyidina Uthman, he mentioned that it was obvious that Rasul was not happy. And we did not know why until Ali later on would to mention that maybe Rasul disliked how they look. Ask them to be humble in their outfit, and maybe Rasul will speak with them. Rasul did speak with them the second day. Surah Al-Imran put the rules for all of us, how to interact with other people. The beginning of the surah recognized the revelation being revealed before the Quran. نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل. The surah in its beginning recognized that the Torah as well as the Injil, the original text, were received by Musa alayhi salam, and Musa is a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we believe in. But it surprised me that the surah in the beginning, in the first 3 pages of the surah, you will notice this. The Quran al-Kareem is making it very clear that Muslims believe in the oneness of Allah and they trust, respect Islam, and there is no room for negotiation as far as the area of the faith. فإن حاجوك فقل أسلمت وجهي لله ومن اتبعني. If they choose to bring an argument, mention to them that I really believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Furthermore, Allah said, إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. And the Quran make it clear for everyone. You have to be comfortable with your belief. If you are, you must welcome discussion, and you must be very clear about your position. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after this started talking so highly about the family of Isa alayhi salam by talking about Al Imran. Imran was a very famous name. So Al Imran, very much you will be right speaking about Al Imran with an association with Musa alayhi salam as well as Isa alayhi salam, although we have 1,000 years between both of them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke so highly about Sayyidah Maryam and what she did as far as worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam informed them with that. The second point is recognize what's good from the people in the other side. Don't deny them anything good they have or a positive behavior exists within them. This is what the surah said. I feel like if we can read the surah with the intention of looking to a topic, an issue, instead of each word and each ayah, we will benefit a lot. When the Nasara Najran came to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they made it very clear. They said, we are not here to become Muslim. We are not here to accept any deal. We came here to convince you that you must join us. قالوا جئنا للمناظرة. We are here for a debate. And when Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam invited them to Islam, قالوا لقد كنا مؤمنين قبلكم. We are a believer before you. And when they raised the issue of belief and they start talking about Isa alayhi salam being the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the argument by saying, إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم. Simply Allah said, if you believe that Isa is qualified to be the son of God because he was born without a father, well, Adam is more qualified. He did not have a father or a mother. And if not having a father can justify someone not being a human, Adam alayhi salam is more qualified. Here is Islam responding to a criticism. Here is Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bringing to their attention a very obvious fact they all agree about. So when some Christian, Jewish or others raise a concern, we have to answer. And we have to be comfortable. We realize that within the Muslim community, people believe, some believe that if we choose to work with other people, means we are going to give up some principles. And we realize as well, some within the Muslim community feel like, you know what, we can ignore all of the principle about Islam if we want to build a good relationship with everyone. And Rasul did not do either of them. Rasul was very good, had a very good approach. This is the Quran, what the Quran said in Surah Al-Imran, and the Rasul did not give up any principle. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam responded to the allegation. When the people of Najran become really aggressive in their talk, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did this. That's something very surprising. He said, maybe you are right. Why don't we let God shows to everyone which one among us is right? He did what we call al-mubahala. He said, I will invite each member of my family. He called Sayyidina Ali, Sayyida Fatima, Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein, his family. He said, I will invite each member of my family, and you do the same. And they will stand outside of the masjid, and we will ask God to punish the one with the wrong position among us. فقل تعالوا ندعو أبناءنا وأبناءكم ونساءنا ونساءكم وأنفسنا وأنفسكم ثم نبتهل. We'll make dua, we'll pray to God. Do you know what they did? قالوا ما باهل نبي أحد إلا هلك. If anyone choose, they said this among themselves. They said, if we choose to agree with Muhammad, and we will allow him to pray, and we will all say Amen, we will be destroyed. History brought this to their attention, and they said, we will not do that, but we will give you what you want. And they made a deal. They did not become Muslim. 14 individuals only among them become Muslim, and the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam won the argument. You will find in this surah, Allah is calling Ya Ahl al-Kitab, Kul Ya Ahl al-Kitab, oh the people of the book. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recognized what's good within them. When he said, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ مَنْ إِنْ تَأْمَنُهُ بِقِنْطَارٍ. Among the people of the book are very trustworthy individual. And among them some you cannot really trust. Among them those choose to spend their life worshipping God, and among them very much some deceiver. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this. Allah called for balance. And I did look to Najran and the Wafd Nasara Najran with the intention to answer a very simple question. How many of them become Muslim later on? When did the people of Najran join the Muslim community? Do you know when? 300 years later. The people of Najran join the Muslimin entirely. All of them become Muslim 300 years later. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reminding each one of us through what he did with Wafd Nasara Najran, don't be upset with people changing religion. Do your piece, do your part. It's not any of our business to achieve a result. The result in Allah's hand, in Allah's hand. Don't run away from an argument. Be clear in your position. This is what Surah Al-Imran did. How many among us, when reading Surah Al-Imran, realize all of this? How many among us intend to concentrate in the meaning of each word without understanding the general message? Surah Al-Imran is not unique in this. The entire book of Allah is very much like this. When reading any surah, try to understand the reason of the revelation, understand the context and the main message. We'll be able to learn a lot. We must not try too hard to come to an answer after realizing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have the answer for us. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم ادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا مولانا رسول الله ثم أما بعد. We might have to realize that Ibn Ishaq as well as Ibn al-Qayyim mention that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam allow wafd Nasara Najran to pray in his own masjid. Some people will question the authenticity of the narration. However, Ibn Ishaq comment about that. But even if he did not allow them, well, Rasul welcomed them and accept a deal with them. My main point today is our approach toward the Quran al-Kareem must be very open. We must realize that the Quran al-Kareem has a very deep and profound message. We must realize that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he asked the Sahaba to recite the Quran, he also asked them to realize that the Quran is kitab hidayah. Hudan lil muttaqeen, hudan lil mu'mineen. It's the book of guidance. It is the book of guidance. So when you read the Quran is not only word. The Quran al-Kareem is a report of action. The Quran al-Kareem is a clarity of principles. The Quran al-Kareem is a rule of halal and haram. The Quran al-Kareem is very much Allah's perspective. So don't distance any ayah from its history or background. Don't isolate any verse from its context. And when reading the Quran like this, we'll be able then to implement the Quran al-Kareem in our life. It's wonderful to realize that large number from the Muslim community memorize the sacred text. But it's when memorizing the Quran is really beautiful to be among the people of the Quran. I think writing the Quran, memorizing the Quran is still not a goal for any of us. The goal is to live the principle of the Quran. So even understanding the Quran is not the end of it. Reading, memorizing, understanding, all of this is a tool we have in our hand to be able to implement all of this in our daily routine. Surah Al-Imran might be an example today, will clarify to us our approach toward the community at large. In an election season, when people call us bad names, we must not call them bad names, but we must come with an answer. We have to be very comfortable and being proud of our religious practice. We cannot say anymore we are 1.6 billion. People need an answer. We have to give them an answer. If you don't know the answer, it doesn't mean that we don't have an answer, but it means that you don't know the answer. Try to ask a scholar, open a discussion. The intellectual discussion must exist in our organization, in our Islamic centers, in our schools. We have to be very open, because the freedom of speech is not only part of American Constitution, it's a principle in our religion. Allah said, La ikraha fi din. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala welcome debate about his own existing from the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourage everyone to be part of a healthy dialogue. I hope that this short talk can be a reminder for me that if I am going home today to recite a surah, maybe I will give it some attention to understand the history. What is the message in this surah? When did the Rasul receive this surah? What I can learn and what I can practice. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يغفر لنا أجمعين. اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن المكرمين بكرامة القرآن الداخلين الجنة بشفاعة القرآن. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا. ونسألك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام أن تمتعنا برؤية المسلمين في وحدة واتحاد. اللهم أرنا المسلمين في عزة وأفضل حال. اللهم متعنا بصلاح الأبناء والبنات. اللهم متعنا بصلاح الأبناء والبنات. اللهم اجعل حياتنا في سبيلك واجعلنا من الشاكرين. اللهم إنا نسألك أن ترزقنا الإخلاص وأن تجعلنا من المقبولين. اللهم الطف بساكن الخيام من المسلمين وهيئ يا رب أسباب عودتهم إلى بيوتهم آمنين مطمئنين منتصرين. اللهم بارك في أهل هذا المسجد وسائر مساجد المسلمين، ونسألك يا رب كما كتبت علينا أن نرى المسلمين في خلاف أن تمتعنا برؤية المسلمين في وحدة واتحاد. عباد الله، اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم، واستغفروه يغفر لكم، وسلوه يعطكم، وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
استووا اعتدلوا.